This is BG24 Sports.
Good evening and welcome to BG24 Sports. I'm Kelly Hart. We have lots of sports on the agenda for you tonight, including members of the women's soccer team and a panel discussion of the Falcon coaches. But before we get into all that, Jonathan Kyle Holtz has an update for us on today's top news. Jonathan?
Sounds like fun. Thanks, Kelly. All right, well, BGSU's administration and faculty are still going at it. Just last week, hundreds of people marched on McFall in protest of the administration's decision to cut 100 faculty members. And now this week, both the administration and faculty union filed unfair labor practice complaints against one another. The administration wants to know the names of the faculty members in the union, but the faculty wants to protect those names. Both groups filed the complaints to the Ohio State Employment Relations Board. And the official groundbreaking ceremony for the new Falcon Health Center is set for tomorrow. Construction began recently and should be completed by this fall. The Wood County Hospital will manage the new center. New features include a drive-through pharmacy, radiology services, and additional parking. Can't go wrong with additional parking at BG. The health services will not be affected during this construction. And now let's take a look at our Black Swamp weather forecast with my favorite weathercaster. Well, I shouldn't say that, but one of my favorite weathercasters, Lacey Hagan. Lacey, what do we got?
Thanks, Jonathan. At Lacey Hagan here with a look at your local Black Swamp forecast. For our current conditions, we have a temperature of about 34 degrees and a wind coming out of the southwest at 5 miles an hour. We will get down to about 29 tonight. So it'll be pretty nice because that's not far from freezing, so pretty warm for this time of the year. Into tomorrow's forecast, we will be getting warmer temperatures closer to 46, so that's pretty warm for this time of the year. With that southwesterly breeze, we will be having a little bit of rain showers come with that. Tomorrow night's forecast, we get a cold front come through that'll bring us down to 29, which will also transition us into snow for Friday. So if you take a look at our temperatures, we're all in the blues, so 30, which is about the average for this time of the year. As we take a look out at our precipitation, there's nothing coming from the north. Like I said, this is why our temperatures are going to be warmer on Thursday, because we will be having rain showers come out of the south. And for our national radar, you can see this will be coming in Thursday night, and this will transition into snow for Friday. So as we take a look at our 5-day forecast, we will reach 46 degrees on Thursday, and Friday we'll have that cold front come through that brings in snow, and we will be down below freezing for the rest of the weekend. But I don't know about you, I think Monday sounds pretty nice starting above freezing. That's a good start to my week.
Definitely. I'm looking forward to that. You know, it was so nice out today and the blue skies
are
awesome.
Yeah, definitely.
I love them.
Yep.
I love them. I hope they continue. All right, well, thank you so much, Lacey. And Americans were glued to their televisions last night for President Barack Obama's annual State of the Union address. Now, President Obama took this opportunity to talk about climate change, immigration, and gun control. But the economy and job creation were at the top of his lengthy list.
But we can't ask senior citizens and working families to shoulder the entire burden of deficit reduction while asking nothing more from the wealthiest and the most powerful. We won't grow the middle class simply by shifting the cost of health care or college onto families that are already struggling, or by forcing communities to lay off more teachers and more cops and more firefighters. Most Americans, Democrats, Republicans, and independents, understand that we can't just cut our way to prosperity. They know that broad-based economic growth requires a balanced approach to deficit reduction.
Republican Senator Marco Rubio gave the GOP's response to the president's speech. Rubio said he was not enthusiastic about what Obama had proposed, saying all the president wants to do is tax more, borrow more, and spend more. And the manhunt for ex-LAPD cop Christopher Dorner might be coming to a close. Police were able to trap Dorner in a cabin near Big Bear, California yesterday. They threw smoke devices into the cabin that caught it on fire. Officials have confirmed the findings of human remains, but they won't say if those remains are Dorner's. Police believe he killed 4 people during his rampage against former co-workers. And bringing it back to Ohio, new information tonight surrounding a University of Toledo track and cross country coach. A question surrounding the coach's resignation has finally been answered. Deadspin.com released a story yesterday accusing coach Kevin Hasdell of having inappropriate relations with his female runners. Hasdell brought the UT running program to the top of the MAC, but a couple of those athletes came forward anonymously about the situation. The athletes said he would text them about weekend plans and would buy alcohol for underage athletes. And that's all I have for news tonight. You can check out BG24 News tomorrow night for the latest breaking news from your campus and community connection. Now I'll toss it back to Kelly with sports. Kel?
Thanks, Jonathan. Coming up next, I'll sit down with Lindsay Thompson and Tracy Togba of the women's soccer team. Stay with us. Welcome back to BG24 News. Joining me are two members of the Falcon women's soccer team. We have Tracy Togba and Lindsay Thompson here. Since it's off season for you girls, I wanted to ask you what kind of things the team does to stay in shape during this off season.
Well, we do a lot of conditioning. We run a lot around the track, indoors and out. We play soccer. We do lifting 3 times a week.
So you said you ran outside even in these
Yes.
cold weathers we're having?
Freezing cold, windy weather.
Yes. Wow, that's pretty intense. After coming off a 1-win season, what's the mentality for next season?
Do everything you can to win, put everything out there, and work hard in every training session we have.
What was the mentality last year when it was you guys were sort of struggling?
I guess we were just caught up in the whole process of like the transition with coaches, and I don't know, it just got a little overwhelming at times, but we're focused now.
I know most of those games were really close games that, most of them you were definitely had the chance to win.
Definitely.
What was the best part of last season despite, sort of struggling?
Every game, we were in every game. Like, we never gave up. We worked hard every game. So I think that was like a really positive thing to take from last season.
You have a new coach in Lindsay Basiliga, is that right? What are some of the new things she's incorporating with you guys?
Definitely fitness. Fitness is a big thing for her. But I mean, if you're fit, then you're going to outwork, you're going to last longer in the game. So it's not anything to hurt us, it's definitely to better us. And she's brought in a point system. Basically, you get points for supporting other teams, doing well in the classroom, doing well in the weight room, things like that. And if you, I guess, do things wrong, you get points taken away. And in the end, whoever's at the top will get like less fitness or BG gear. It's just a way to create a better culture for our team.
Okay, yeah. And you said you do fitness tests, so what do those consist of usually?
So we had our first fitness test with her. We had to run 800 miles.
800, a half a mile.
I mean 800. 800 meters in like 3 minutes and 10 seconds. And then we do 40-yard sprints, 4 of them, six of them back and forth. And then we have to do another 400 meter, and then we do more 40-yard sprints, 6. And then we do another 800.
And everything is timed, and you have to make the times.
Yeah. If you don't make the times, what happens? You have to do them again?
Well,
we have to retake the test.
Yeah, you have to retake the test, and for our first spring games, you have to pass a fitness test in order to play.
Okay. So that sounds like being in shape isn't going to be one of the concerns that you guys are going to have.
No.
Talking about team bonding, how would you describe the closeness of your team?
To be honest, our team is more like a family. It's not really a team. Like, you get mad at people, but, if they were in trouble, you would have their back no matter what. So I wouldn't consider us a team. It's more of a family atmosphere.
Do you guys do anything outside of the soccer field or conditioning to keep you guys together?
Yeah, I mean, over the weekend, some people go running at the rec center and invite other people along to go running. Or we have team dinners at each other's houses, stuff like that.
Yeah. What about pregame rituals that you guys have? Do you have any of those?
We just play the music really, really loud in the locker room and just kind of get loose. Or sometimes we'll play this game called Head Catch, and if they throw it to you and say head, you have to catch it, and vice versa. So we just kind of get loose and focused.
Okay. What's the #1 pregame song that you guys listen to?
It used to be Call Me Maybe.
Yes.
I'm glad it's done.
Yeah. Okay, we're going to take our first commercial break right now, so stay with us and we'll be right back with the women's soccer team. Joining us on BG24 Sports are Tracy Togba and Lindsay Thompson of the Falcons women's soccer team. We've talked about last season, but now let's focus on 2013. The spring season is approaching us and you guys have 2 games coming up in Toledo. What will those games tell us about this upcoming season?
I think this is kind of like the starting point, just to see where we are as a team, what we need to build on. I think it's fun. Like, it's a good start, and it's going to be fun to finally play someone other than our team. And
yeah. Do you guys know who you're playing in these upcoming games?
Yes, we're playing Toledo and Valparaiso.
Okay. So let's get into some personal thing. What is the best thing about playing soccer here at BG?
I would say just the overall atmosphere. Whether it's in the weight room, you have a nice weight room, great coaches, our own coaches who are great, and then just, I don't know, just being an athlete here is just something special.
Yeah, I can tell the athlete community seems to be really close. Do you guys do any activities with the other athletes on campus?
Yes, we do. It's like Falcon Back in Action. It's when all the athletes come together and we just do different
activities.
Small activities.
And honestly, like, you have study tables, you're with athletes all the time, and really those are like the main people you hang out with, because those are the people that have the same schedule with you or understand your busy schedule.
Right. What's the most embarrassing thing that has happened to you while playing soccer?
Okay. Well, freshman year, in the game against Ohio University, I ended up breaking my arm, and so I was on Vicodin to help me. And we had practice the next day, and I was very high on Vicodin, so I ended up sleeping in the training room instead of going out to practice.
Good one.
I haven't had too many, but I think one of mine was I whiffed the ball so hard at practice I pulled a muscle in my back. So.
So back to, you said you guys do study tables all the time. How do you balance school with soccer?
It's really tough, but it helps keep us more focused on our education and just getting things done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think having a schedule makes it a lot easier to get things done and plan your week out.
Yeah. What's your guys' majors here?
I'm pre-med.
I'm visual communication technology.
Do you guys have dream jobs that you'd like to accomplish with those majors?
Yeah, I want to be an orthopedic surgeon.
To be honest, I'm not sure, but I want to go into the sports thing, whether it's like making graphics for scoreboards or filming the game, something along those lines.
Okay. Do you watch professional soccer at all?
Every time I go home, my father always makes me watch games with them.
Yeah. I know Team USA was really big during the past Olympics.
Yeah.
Did you guys stay up on that?
Yeah, and I think it's like they're good role models for us, and it makes our sport a lot more like relevant, like appreciative of what we're doing.
Definitely. How long have you girls been playing soccer?
I've been playing soccer since I was 5 years old.
Like,
Wow.
yeah, 5 years old.
Did you guys ever think you'd be playing at the college level at that time?
Probably
Not at that time.
Not when I was younger, but it's always been like a goal. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Other than BGSU, I know you guys said you loved it, but if you could go anywhere for college to play soccer, where would it be?
My dream college was UNC
Why is that?
because it had me and him.
I'm sure that was probably the dream
Yeah.
athlete growing up for you guys, me and him. How was the transition growing up, going from high school soccer to college soccer, or club in that case?
It's different because on your high school or club team, you're used to being like the best one out there, and then you come here and it's like everybody's at your level or a bit higher.
Yeah.
I just feel like the training and, well, here it's your life. Back home it's like you go to school or you have practice in the nighttime, but that's not it. Like, soccer is your life here.
Yeah. If you weren't playing soccer, what sport would you want to play?
I'd probably be playing golf.
Why's that?
You don't have to run.
It sounds like you guys definitely do a lot of running. So thank you girls for joining us. We're going to take another break and we'll be back with a panel discussion. This is Tracy Togba and Lindsay Thompson of the soccer team. Make sure you guys check them out next fall. Welcome back. Head football coach Dave Clausen just signed a new contract extension. Women's basketball coach Jennifer Ruse is living in the shadow of her predecessor, and the women's soccer coach just took on her biggest challenge. Joining us to talk about these coaches are Alan Mars and Chris Barth from the Bowling Green Radio in Sports. Let's talk about Lindsay Basiliga first. Where does she begin with the women's soccer team?
Well, looking at it, as the players just mentioned in the last session, really outworking their opponents, trying to create a winning culture. This team won 17-1 this past season. Their previous winning season was 2008, where they went 12-6-4. So it's really going to be a transition of trying to get back to that winning way, get over 500, try to be a little more competitive in each and every game.
Yeah, I know that one loss, that's pretty brutal, but you know, you can only go up from there. And I think the way it sounded like those girls were saying their training, definitely seems like she's ready to go, all business, want to get in that win column a little more.
Yeah, it seems like from what they were saying, they're doing a lot of like weight training and a lot of conditioning, running. I mean, that's a big part of soccer, just being conditioned, run around the field. So maybe if that picks up, they'll be able to improve their record from their 1-17-1. So with a lot of training they're doing, should be good for the next season.
Yeah, definitely. Last month, Dave Clausen, the head football coach, signed a 5-year contract extension as a football coach. Terms of the deal were not announced. Why is he considered the right man for the job?
Well, looking at it, he's been trying to rebuild this program. When he came in 2009, he went 7-6, went to a bowl game and lost by a point to Idaho in the Humanitarian Bowl, and then right away he started redshirting players to really try to bring this culture around. They've been about 500 before his time here, and really he's improved upon that. It's difficult seeing that his record is 22-28 overall since his tenure here, especially since he went 2-10 in 2010 and 4-8 in 2011. So those are difficult things to really justify. But when you look at this year, 6th in yards allowed and 10th in scoring allowed in the nation on the defensive end. So you see a lot of things that are going in the right direction.
Another thing too is his recruiting class. When he first came in here, it wasn't his recruiting class. It was more like the former coach. So now, a couple years into it, the recruiting class doesn't come in and start right away. So it takes a couple years for them to build up. So once they build up and his recruiting class comes in, I think he'd do a lot better than he has. I mean, like you said, they were 2-10 and improved. So with this recruiting class, I can see some more improvement there.
Yeah, and I know you said the football culture. It's definitely changed around here. I think more and more people are coming into the games, headed over to the Deutsch to watch these big games. And I think that has a lot to do with Coach Clausen.
Well, winning one is going to be an instant turnaround. People are going to be interested in seeing that you're actually competitive in most of your contests in the season. The worry here, though, is the 5-year extension, being that we're in a mid-major conference, that if you're successful as a coach in this level, the bigger conferences, the BCS conferences, are going to be looking for you. Just take Drew Hazel and Dave Doran from Kent State and Northern Illinois, respectively. Where are they at now? Big Ten and ACC. So when you have success over a sustained period of time, you're going to get the offers from the bigger teams, and that's going to be a worry, I think, for at least the stability of this program, for especially a 5-year contract extension.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to add on to that and say, like he said, like he can go to a different school. I mean, he's competed with Florida. We played Florida, we only lost by 13 in Florida. So that's another big key of, I mean, he can compete with big teams down there. So, I mean, if he improves on this, like he said, he could probably go somewhere else, as he's even shown with BG that he can compete with bigger teams, such as Florida. Yeah.
Well, let's say if Coach Clausen does stay here these 5 years, doesn't go over to those bigger schools, what do you think Falcon fans can expect for the next 5 seasons?
I think they can expect some good competitive football over the next 5 seasons. I mean, he showed it, and it's no signs of slowing down, especially with the defense improving and new recruits coming in. So I could see him being a competitive football team as they have been this year.
I mean, continuing on a goal that I discussed with him in the preview day at the beginning of the season, winning the MAC championship. That's always going to be a goal for teams like Bowling Green in the Mid-American Conference, trying to win your conference championship, maybe try to make some noise in the national scene like Northern Illinois and Kent State did at the end of the year, depending on how well your team shakes out during the season.
And we'll head over to women's basketball now. The team is 15-8 currently, 6-4 in the MAC. She's done a respectable job in her first years here. How much better, or she's in the shadow of Kurt Miller. How much better could Miller have done?
Well, it's something where Kurt Miller, he left his blueprint, he left his footprint, whatever you want to say. His experience with the team, how much success that was developed, 8 straight seasons with the East Division Championship, 7 of those 8 years winning the MAC regular season championship, multiple trips to the NCAA tournament, including a Sweet 16 berth in 2006-2007. Those things are very hard to live up to when you're a new head coach, especially when you've been in the system since Kurt Miller stepped on campus, as Coach Roos has. She's been here since 2001, the past 8 years as the associate head coach. She's showing that she has the ability, but it's really a transition where she has to start putting her identity on the team rather than living on the past legacy of Coach Kurt Miller.
Yeah, like you said, like she's gonna pretty much have the same blueprint he did, and I mean, with the new coach coming in, she's gonna have her own ways to run things with a little bit of what Coach Miller did. So it's going to take some time with her running in her new system for the players to really get used to it from going one system to the next. So a couple years, like I could see her being a really good coach and being like Coach Miller has in the past.
Especially when you look at this season, slight dip in the production. They're currently 5th in the MAC overall, 2nd in the East. Everybody's licking their chops because they have a chance to legitimately beat Bowling Green this season. So this is a season where everybody's going to gun after the Falcons. And looking at it, still 17-8 overall. They are struggling a little bit in the Mid-American Conference, 6-4, but their defense has been the staple. It's really been a transition where the defense stays consistent, but the offensive production has kind of lacked, as they are currently tied 29th in the nation in scoring defense.
Okay, well, that's some great discussion on the coaches of BG. And thanks to our panel, Alan Mars and Chris Barth, for joining us from the Bowling Green radio station. When we come back, we'll let you know what we'll see tomorrow night on BG24 News. Stay with us. Join us tomorrow at 5:30 for BG24 News. We'll tell you how to make your Valentine's Day a little sexier. And in 2 weeks on BG24 Sports, we'll meet up with members of the BGSU gymnastics team. Thanks for being with us tonight. Good night.